Hello. In this module, I wanted to introduce AWS and go through the configuration and setup of AWS and then go through the configuration of AWS for NetBeans. Um, so AWS is Amazon Web Services, and it offers a lot of really cool technology and really cool features that allow us as developers to take advantage of scalability and ease of configuration, ease of deployment, and it really hides a lot of the underlying hardware issues that we normally would have to deal with, so that we can just get the app finished and get it deployed. Um, so with AWS, there are two basic resources that we're going to use. The first one is what's called Elastic Beanstalk, and what that is it's a technology that is basically a Java web server container like Tomcat or Glassfish. That is, and in this instance, it is Tomcat, Apache Tomcat, and it basically is a platform as a service, which means that it just is something that we can upload our finished Java 7EE project to, and it will run. We don't have to configure any kind of virtual servers or any kind of networking schemes or anything really like that. It's very nice that way. Also, it does automatic scaling, and it allows for um, kind of a scaled payment environment as well, where you can pay for what you use. The other feature that we're going to be using with Amazon Web Services is their access control feature, which is called IAM. And basically that allows us to connect to an Elastic Beanstalk instance. And in fact, we can also connect our IDE NetBeans to this instance, and as soon as we're done with our application, we can push it right to our Elastic Beanstalk. So the first thing we need to do is get signed up with Amazon, with AWS. It's a pretty simple and straightforward procedure to do that. They do require some credit card information, but we'll be staying below the paid tier. We'll be staying in the free tier for the most part. I'm going to just trust that you can get signed up for AWS and get that information taken care of and get an account. Once you do, the first thing you'll see when you log in is this dashboard. And again, the two services that we're going to be concerned with first is the IAM service and Elastic Beanstalk. So let's go to Elastic Beanstalk first and show kind of some of the features there. So in Elastic Beanstalk, we have environments. And what these allow us to do is set up different instances of the platform as a service. So you'll typically start with a default environment, and then you can create additional environments. I've created an additional environment here called Java EE7 Tutorial. And when I click on that and go into it, I'm presented with another dashboard that shows me my configuration. So in this case, I'm using the Tomcat 7 Java web container. And then it shows me some other log-based information. And then if I go to configuration, it'll show some of the web tier configuration options. As you can see, I'm running this particular environment in single instance mode, which basically means that it won't scale. In other words, if there's greater demand placed on my app, it's not going to spin up more hardware, more instances. It's just going to stay with one. And that's okay for a test environment. And we'll go into setting up a scalable environment a little later. And then we have logs, monitoring. The monitoring is really handy. It shows network usage, CPU utilization, and these are factors that come into play with the for the paid services. So these are things that we're going to want to pay attention to. We also have alarms and events. So this is our basic dashboard for our Elastic Beanstalk application. It's very simple. And again, there's not a lot that we have to really worry ourselves with. Really, the only things that we have to set up and configure are number one, we have to set up our environment. We have to, or our instance, if you want to call it. We need to upload and deploy our application. And then we also need to set up some permissions. So let's go ahead right now and set up another instance just so that we can show how that works. So, and it's called an instance or an environment. So we go here to create new environment, and then the environment type is going to be a web server, our platform, and as you can see, there's multiple platforms here. So this does support multiple languages, but in this case, we're going to be concerned with Tomcat, which is for Java. And it gives us kind of an overview here. It says you're going to be using Java 7 web container on 64-bit Linux, and that's fine. In this instance, let's go ahead and leave this at load balanced or load balancing and auto scaling. This is where you can select single instance if you just want to test a few things. You don't want to have to worry too much about incurring charges or whatever for that. But that's okay. We'll leave it at load balance just for demo purposes. We'll do continue. And then I have a couple of applications that I've uploaded already, but we're going to go ahead and start, and so that's fine. We'll just we'll set it to the sample application, which is an application that AWS just has pre-configured for us. So we'll set that. We'll set our default application to run on the environment. We'll do continue, and then we can name it here. And this name, we want to pick a descriptive name because it has to be unique. So this will be the address that will reference our environment or our web container, if you will. So let's just call this test Java 7 EE environment. That should be. Oh, okay. I guess we better do this the right way. So we'll set this. Basically, it's just one word. We can check availability. That looks good. We can put a little description if we want to, but the most important thing is that this is unique. So we're good there. So we'll do continue. This is where we can, what it's asking us for now is if we want to add like a database or if we want to make this a private environment so we can do testing on it. And we're not going to worry about that. These are additional services that for the most part are add-ons, and we'll talk about those later when we talk about databases. So we'll just do continue for now. And then at this point, it tells us, or it gives us the option to do an instance, which we can select as whatever we want based on the size of the load that we're going to be running. We'll leave it at micro for now. That's just kind of the unpaid tier. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and do continue. And this gives us a review of the environment that we're going to create. So we'll do create. And so what this is going to do is it's going to go ahead and actually spin up all of those servers and the hardware and the operating system and the Tomcat web container and actually create that environment for us to use. So this will run for a few minutes, and then when it's done, the health will update and show us that it's ready to go.